Hello, Outplayers. This is Lax, co founder at Outplay. So, this video is for people like me who hate to read stuff but love to watch. So, this is regarding the important update that we pushed over the weekend. I have 9 important updates to share with you guys, along with some other small feature changes or the improvements, along with some bug fixes. So, I'm going to take you through these 9 important features real quick. The first one is about Salesforce integration. And if you're someone looking to pull your Salesforce contacts into Outplay through a Salesforce report, now we got the option now. So if you go into the prospect section and import prospects, earlier we had only CSV import. Right now you can go through Salesforce report and select the report of your choice and pull your contacts into Outplay. So this is one place, and one other place is inside the sequences. If you go into a sequence and then prospects, if you want to pull your contacts from Salesforce into a sequence directly, the same import option should give you a Salesforce report pulling as well. And the second Salesforce update that we had is on the integration section, the user mapping. So a lot of you asked that we have a user on Outplay, but that user is not there on our Salesforce. We still wants to put contacts from Salesforce to Outplay. So this update is for you guys. If you switch this on, what it does is it will pull the contacts or the leads from your Salesforce, though you don't have the user mapping here like this for Munish. So what it does is it automatically pulls all the leads for unmapped users also, and makes the default user as a owner of that prospect inside Outplay. And you can go in here to change who is the default user, right? So this is not the user, but generally when you map in here and go, okay, so you have the option here. You can mark them as default users. So these default users will be the owners of those prospects inside Outplay. And that's all about Salesforce. And the third feature is inside the task section. If you go into the task, there are two things that we have improved here. One, while you create a new task either from this page or a task is created from a trigger or a sequence, now you have an option to set a priority. So it can be critical, high, normal, and low. So you can set a priority for your task from creating it manually, or a trigger is created, or a task is created from a sequence that you have. So once you have the priority set up here, while you execute these tasks, there is a filters and views option now here, where you can filter it out by the priority as well. So maybe you want to finish off all the priority tasks first out of those 100 tasks pending, and then go on to the next ones. So not just the priority, now you can filter out your tasks by a lot of things. You can filter them out by a source, whether sequence created tasks or a trigger created tasks, or a manual or a follow-up. And there are a lot of other options where you can choose tasks from a particular sequence, or a local time of a prospect, or a tag, or a stage. So you guys explore. There are a lot of options in the filters and views. So that's all. These are the two important features that even the Outplay sales team is also waiting for a while, and we got them now. And the fourth feature, one of the very important ones that we have introduced, is called the organization settings here. And this is a new option. Let's say if you are like Outplay sales team, which goes after at least 5 people in a particular account, 5 or 10 people generally based on the size. Now you can set an option and ask Outplay to not send more than 2 emails per day for the same domain. So let's say if you are prospecting 10 prospects in an account, sending emails, all 10 emails in one go, can be a spam filter at the other email servers if they have some security email servers out there. If one SDR sending out to 10 prospects within the same organization could be a spam sometimes. So this will prevent that. And also, out of 10, if you send 2 first, and if that bounces for some reason, the domain is not valid or something, you can stop other 8 so that you are reducing your bounce rates. So for those 2 reasons, one is to avoid spam and one is to keep your bounce rates low. This feature is going to help you, and by default this is set for 2, and you are free to change that. And we've moved one feature from safety settings here. So earlier we had a feature called don't allow prospects to be included in multiple sequences. We had that in the safety settings earlier. Now we have moved that into sequence settings. So now what happens is, let me go into sequences. Yeah. So now when you go into the sequence settings section, here we have the option don't allow prospects to be added in multiple settings. So if you have turned this on, all the prospects that are active in this sequence can be added to any other sequences by any of your team members, not just you, but by even your team members as well. So we thought it would make sense to have that at the sequence settings rather than the generic settings. So that's why we have moved here. And there is another improvement also. So earlier, a reply on Outplay is just an email reply. And if you have to stop the sequence, either they book a meeting or a text reply, you had to create a trigger earlier. So now you don't need those triggers anymore. We have changed the meaning of reply. So as you can see in the help text here, the reply for Outplay now is either an email reply or a call disposition saying answered, or a text reply or an SMS reply, and a meeting is booked. So these four things will be considered as a reply, and sequence will automatically be stopped if you have this toggle switched on. And one other improvement is on the meeting booking side. So earlier we used to consider only the meetings that are booked on Outplay calendar. So if you only give this calendar link, and if people book a meeting on your calendar, that's the only thing that we used to consider as meeting booked. But right now we have improved that logic. If you go into your Gmail calendar or your iCal on your Mac, and if you book a meeting with a prospect, and if that prospect is existing in your prospects list, we also read that and show that as a meeting in the live feed, and also show that in the meetings count. So for example, let's imagine that this guy booked a meeting, not booked a meeting from Outplay calendar, but rather I booked it from my iCal on the Mac. That's still considered as a meeting and shown in the live feed, and also in the stats of your sequences or your overall team reporting stats. And one other very simple but very useful is when you go into these filters, now we have an option for all. So you can select all or unselect all and just go for all the meetings booked or something. So this is very simple one, but very useful. At least for me, I use it a lot. And the last but the important one, while you execute your call tasks, let's say if I click on call and execute, there's one of these example tasks that I have in here. So here you will see a new option, sequence action. So when you finish off the call, you have an option to set this as automatic, advanced, or finished. So automatic is leave it automated so that it will either move or finish based on your triggers or settings in the call section. And all you can move it to advanced, which means this prospect will go from step number 5 to step number 6, irrespective of your call outcome. And if you select finish, it will finish the sequence at step number 5 itself and will not move the prospect to step number 6. So this is a new improvement and a new option when you execute tasks. I think that's all from my side. I've covered all the 9 important features. As I said, we have other small improvements within the platform, and also we have also fixed a lot of quite important and the normal priority bugs as well in this update. Hope you guys like the update. Let me know right back to me if you have any suggestions, any feature requests or improvements. Please do write back to me, and you guys know I'm super responsive and the team is super responsive when you have a question or a concern. Looking forward for the next update in probably 3-4 weeks. We have really cool stuff coming in for the next update. Until then, love you all. Stay safe. Bye bye.